take this across. Let me take this across to our guests, Mr. Bose. If eventually the NPP and the BJP have to come together, explain to us the happenings of the last 1 year. The fact that they had Bernard Marak arrested. Now the two of them are going up against each other. The fact that Conrad Sangma felt that, the BJP was trying to cut into his votes, that it was trying to expand in the, in the Garo Hills or the Khasi Hills. Why did they part ways if only they are to come together again after the elections?
Well, one thing I would like to add with that, in Northeast or particularly in Meghalaya, it is not BJP that killed the Congress. It was Mr. Purno Sangma who first revolted against the family. And since then, that tradition goes on with Conrad and his brother and sister, anyway, Agatha. So Conrad is the main face over there. And Meghalaya's politics, as you are aware, is on two things. One is the Christian sentiments, and the other one is the inter-community contest between Khasis and Garos, with Jayantiyas falling in between. So in this equation, see, it is legitimate for parties to try to age out each other and try for push a little bit here and there. There was seriously, if I'm not wrong, there was one particular episode where NPP was a little bit disappointed. That was with regard to election in Manipur.
Okay.
Where so they had something. But that apart, I believe, this is not a new trend. If you see many parties, particularly the United Front, they don't unite, they don't get into pre-poll alliances. They go for post-poll. So I think they needed some kind of an identity to fight this election.
Okay.
And post-poll equations can always be different.
So, and always the reason given is whoever puts forward the interests of our state, we are going to go along with them, whoever holds the winning hand. Ultimately, it is the state-based parties who hold the cards. But the big story emerging right now, and now let's take a look at the trends that we have so far. Big story emerging is that the BJP and its alliances seem to be doing quite comfortably in all three of the states. In Tripura, they are well past the halfway mark.
Looks like they're going to stabilize that.
Looks like they're going to stabilize it. NPP doing fairly well. BJP also up to its expectations.
Both of them are going to edge out the others, And as I said in the morning, just 20 minutes ago, NPP will come close to the halfway mark.
Okay, so
and
you've
the
got
BJP at 10.
Okay, the BJP alliance doing quite comfortably. Congress with its Bharat Jodo Yatra and Rahul Gandhi campaigning in Meghalaya doesn't seem to have had any effect. And the Trinamool Congress, which was hoping to make inroads, better its performance, at least in Meghalaya and in Tripura, has come a cropper as of now. We don't know what the TMC's numbers are for Meghalaya, but at least in Tripura so far, they have failed to open their khata. Another interesting story, by the way, despite the fact that in Meghalaya, the TMC made such a concerted effort, you had Abhishek Banerjee campaigning, you had Mamta Banerjee campaigning, there was a very interesting episode which happened. Remember, Jay, that Kirti Azad, who's just joined the Trinamool Congress, he tweeted a picture of the Prime Minister in traditional Khasi outfit, in that jacket, and he said ki na ye nar, ye nari, ye to sirf uske victims hai, fashion ke victim. That became an issue because you were talking about regional pride, you were mocking a traditional outfit.
It was similar to body shaming, actually.
Exactly. I mean, and it was a really tone deaf, like right before you go into election campaigning, you realize that this person doesn't even know what the local traditions are. Let's go across to Nilanjan Das on that. Nilanjan Das, the Trinamool Congress is hoping to be kingmaker in 2024. But yet in the first elections that we have had in this election cycle, not much headway has been made. What does that say?
Well, Padmaja, first of all, very good morning to you all, and I convey my wishes to Tehsin Bhai. And first of all, I would say that, see, I cannot see the numbers for Trinamool Congress in Meghalaya. So if the others, which is 15 that I'm seeing, if it reflects the Trinamool numbers, then of course that's a great performance. That's a great starter for Trinamool Congress.
I don't think so. I don't think these
This
15...
is going to be a mix of a lot of regionals. We'll just get the breakup.
we'll just get the breakup. I don't really think...
So that would be helpful. That would be helpful. But I think for a party that you people love to call as the regional party that is expanding in 2 of the 7 northeastern states is a story that you should be covering. And coming to Mr. Kirti Azad's comment, it was condemned by the party. And similar comments or even, more filthy comments were made about Mamata Banerjee when she was wearing a traditional
Mr. Das, with the greatest of respect, it's not you people who are calling anyone regional. First of all, TMC has got national ambitions. It's a party which has got members of parliament at the center. But let me just quickly give you some background. As far as Tripura is concerned, the TMC contested 24 seats in 2018, lost its deposit in all of them. When you come to the Lok Sabha elections, it wasn't there in... In 2019 Lok Sabha elections in Tripura, they polled 0.4044% of the vote. So I'm just going by data and the performance and the fact that even so far in Tripura, you really haven't made much of a headway. Given that there was actually scope for the local indigenous population's voices to be voiced by another party. The TMC is clearly not that party. Let's take a look at the leads that we have so far now. 2023. So here we have a comparison. Taking a look at Tripura, last time around you had the BJP plus at 44. Can we please go back to that comparison of 2018 and 2023? Quickly taking a look at all 3 states and where they stand last time vis-a-vis this time around. All right, can we get that comparison map up, please? All right, here it is. So we've got Meghalaya now instead of Tripura. Okay, let's take a look. 2018, we had NPP at 20. This time around, we have got 3 in the trends, 3 with the NPP. Congress is 1. BJP right now is at 0 in Meghalaya, and others are at 6.
Actually, even the EC is updating the trend slowly. I just checked the EC website. So this is a reflection of closer to reality.
These are EC's numbers. These are EC's numbers. So this is where things stand right now. Jay.
Absolutely. Now, you look at the map, there is a spread across for the NPP. That's the point I was making. They've taken, efforts to take care that they are not looked as a pure Khasi or a pure Garo party. Mr. Sangma, Conrad Sangma's father, the late Mr. Sangma, would always say, that UDP, the other party, is a Khasi nationalism party. It was a sort of a tribal split.
But both Conrad Sangma and Mukul Sangma, both of them have their area of influence in the Garo Hills, right?
Garo Hills. So, but Conrad has
the majority of the seats in Meghalaya actually come from the Khasi and Jaintia. So here you've got 2 strong leaders. One in the Trinamool Congress, Conrad Sangma, of course, from the Congress, switched to the TMC, has considerable influence, but it is limited to the area, the Garo Hills, which have 20% of the population as opposed to the 70% in the other areas.
Yet his social engineering has worked. It's helped him spread out. That's the point. But with the TMC, what typically tends to happen is it tends to get looked upon as a party of non-tribals, of the Bengalis. That's a sort of a hidden handicap the TMC goes with. That's the reason the TMC is unable to actually make larger gains.
Okay, let me go across now to Sunil Kalai. He's the president of the Tripura Employees Federation. First thoughts, better than expected, the results that you are seeing in Tripura, hoping that you will be a strong voice in the state now, and at whose detriment have you managed to do better? Mr. Kalai.
See, it's very clear now that the role of the promoter party is quite visible. This is the first time that under one leadership, under single man, under one leadership, that the Tipra Mota has fought against all the big stalwarts of the nation. And the result, let's wait for some time And Tipra Motha, with its ideology, the slogan, Tipra is coming and Tipra is for all. Of course, there had been a narrative that Tipra Motha is only tribal-based party, which is not. And in the boot sharing of a total result, we'll see that Tipra Motha will penetrate in all the 42 assembly constituency where we have set up our candidates.
What
And
do you want to
definitely
say to the
we'll
Congress?
get certain numbers of boot sharing from the whole state.
Mr.
And that's
Kalai, what
I
do you
can
want to say to the Congress leadership? You think that they should have reached out to your party, that they should have reached out to your people? They made a cardinal mistake in ignoring your voice?
We have nothing to say to any leadership. We are here to follow the visions and ideology of the Supremo, His Highness Maharaja Pradip Kishore Manikya, and will prove it in the days to come.
Okay,
and
you have nothing to say to anyone. I have got more news coming in. We were just talking about Meghalaya.
Yes.
8 out of 12 chief ministers have come from Garo land.
Yeah.
All 3 CM candidates, we were just talking about Conrad Sangma and Mukul Sangma. In fact, for the others also, all 3 CM candidates are from the Garo. Other leads coming in. Nefu Ryu has taken a lead from his seat, Northern Angami, and the TMC is on number 2 in Tripura with 5. That is what we know of a few leads that we are getting. So 5 leads were showing at one point. Okay. 5 leads are coming in for the TMC in Tripura. That's what we know so far. Let's listen in to Alexander Heck of the BJP. First reaction coming in on the leads that we have so far from Meghalaya.
I'm contesting for 14th Pantharmgra constituency, Shillong.
And what is your expectation today?
Expectation, we are working very hard. The BJP will do very, very well this time.
And what's your prospect here?
My prospect is very, very advantage, and we are doing very hard work. And definitely, we are going to win these elections.
Thank you.
Tripura Chief Minister Manik Saha has taken the lead from town Bordowali. His deputy Jishnu Dev Verma is also leading from Sharlem. So these are the leads that we have so far.
Yeah.
Again, the latest numbers that we have, let's start from Meghalaya this time around. NPP 23, Congress 7,
the BJP 12, the other 16. Now look at it. It is still going by that 2/3, 1/3 ratio that I alluded to in the morning. This is a sort of template the BJP has got for northeastern tribal states. It socially co-opts, it cuts across the beef psychological issue, it co-opts Christian leaders, it talks of welfare, and then gets candidates, and then finally puts up good results. Mr. Heck, whom we just spoke to, he's also actually he's not a pure BJP candidate. He was earlier elected on other parties. But look at the sort of growth they have managed. So what it eventually looks like is that we are close to the number 60. So the meeting with Mr. Biswa Sarma, 23 plus 12 makes 35 halfway mark. So one thing is very clear for Meghalaya. It's not going to be a hodgepodge with a lot of smaller parties this time. It's going to be the NPP and the BJP.
And do you think a lot is made of, the disparity in the BJP's ideology in the so-called mainland or North India as opposed to the Northeast? Because they've been pretty clear. You had the MLAs of the BJP, you had the state party chief in Meghalaya. He was much in the news right now saying that nobody has ever stopped us from eating beef. Now, that is something that has been articulated in the past by the party saying, wherever it is legal, wherever your local traditions are there, we are going to go along with it.
Absolutely. Not only that, I think BJP has worked on a careful long-term co-option strategy. Look at the number of Christian MLAs they have in Goa. In fact, one of their prominent Christian leaders from Jharkhand, Louis Marandi, in one of the interviews, she said, Mera aur Babulal Marandi ka gotra ek hai. I mean, gotra. But she's a Christian. So, in a way, the BJP has managed to build those soft connects.
Nagaland, 54 out of 60 trends that we have. Quite comfortable here. 44. And like you said, this is, let's be honest, this is not much of a contest.
This was a one-horse race.
It is like an opposition-less election, if we can call it that.
Completely opposition-less election. They seem to be headed for like an 80% majority.
80% majority, okay. So the BJP, I think it's quite comfortable over here, BJP alliance. NPF is at 9, Congress is at 1. I think the story emerging here is what is going on with the Congress. It is the party, remember, which is saying we are going to lead. In Chhattisgarh, they are saying, the other parties are regional parties. We will lead the coalition in 2024.
Absolutely.
You can't be leading if you barely are able to make a footprint.
Absolutely. See, both the states, Nagaland and Meghalaya, Meghalaya, they were once assumed to be default Congress states. Default. Some election happens, the Congress
All of Northeast, in fact.
All of Northeast, in fact. Right? These two are default Congress. This was default left. Now, look at the scenario. In these two, the Congress is almost reduced to rubble. Here, it's banking on the left. Here, it's much like Bengal, where the Congress...
And lead/seats are actually of the CPM.
CPM, yes.
This time the CPM did a very interesting strategy for a place which had, for a party that had been in power in Tripura for 25 years, almost 25 years. Shankar Prasad Datta, former MP of the CPM, is joining us. They decided that not only would their erstwhile Chief Minister Manik Sarkar not contest, but they also had almost 50%, Mr. Datta, almost 50% of your candidates were fresh faces, young faces. What do you have to say about the leads in that case? Has it not paid off for you? Even now, Congress and you put together are just leading in 10. Mr. Datta.
Yes, you see, the people of Tripura have decided that the barbaric rule of the past 5 years should be go. So the mode of the people throughout the state is against BJP. So we hope that left will get a clear majority and BJP will not get the majority in the state of Tripura.
Mr. Datta, if you don't mind me asking, what exactly is this confidence based on? Because your past performance doesn't seem to bear it out. Your current leads don't seem to bear it out. If anything, we're looking at the BJP being very comfortable, BJP and its alliance being exceedingly comfortable across all 3 states.
You see, the anger of the people. People did not get the work, did not get the job, and earning of the people lowered down. And attack on the people, not only against the opposition, even the BJP workers got injured in several cases by the BJP hooligans. So, the anger of the people is our strength. So, we are hoping that the mood of the people against the BJP is telling that BJP will not come in the government of Tripura, and others will form the government against BJP.
Okay, we're just getting in word that the Chief Minister of Tripura, we've got the first reaction from him, exclusive on Times Now. Listen in. Manik Saha has spoken to Times Now, talking about the leads that he has so far ahead of results coming out. The lead for the BJP alliance solidifying in Tripura, 40 so far out of 60 is what we are getting. Let's listen in to what Manik Saha told Times Now.
Tomorrow it would be tsunami. Tsunami. Of? Tsunami of the increasing of numbers on behalf of BJP.
Okay. Last time we spoke on the election day, you said 50. You stand by that? 50 out of 60.
Have I told like that?
You told me. It's on record.
The tsunami. Tsunami I said.
So 50 is a tsunami.
The number which we have got in 2018. So that would be increased. And it may be like tsunami.
Okay.
In that way I tried to tell you.
Okay. So you're expecting a clear mandate and you won't need anyone's support?
I hope so. And I am certain, not hope so. Of course it would be done like that.
The people
they may try to do something to deteriorate the law and order.
for opposition.
For that I am very much worried.
Okay, you just heard Manik Saha, Mr. Shankar Prasad Datta. He's saying there will be a tsunami. And tsunami by its very nature causes destruction. So who's going to be the victim of this BJP tsunami if it comes? Already 40 leads out of 60. Manik Saha is saying we'll get 50 plus.
Yes. You see, At first, they have told that they will get 60. Then they told that they will get 50. And after that, they told that they will get 45. So what will be the exact number, they cannot say.
You know, I have to say that the BJP set such marks and standards for themselves that other parties are happy in saying, oh, look, they had said 100% strike rate, inki sirf 99.99% hi hui, hence moral victory is ours. So they're always like, 200 par, 150 par, 400 par, and then they're like, 400 nahi, but 399 aa gaye.
No, you need to give it to them, give credit to them. It's the ever youthful, ever motivated, ever aspirational campaigner. And somehow that seems to be fueling the cadre to get something.
You know, and it's not just about these state elections. By the way, we are having these bypolls. For example, in Maharashtra for the bypolls, in Pune, you had the chief minister holding a roadshow, you had Devendra Fadnavis holding a roadshow. It's a bypoll. And yet you are carrying out rally after rally. You are saying ki nahi, ye to ladai hai, Sharad Pawar ke khilaf hai. So every bypoll, every seat, every state is like, it's treated like a Lok Sabha election. So when Dr. Kaustubh Deka, when Mr. Shankar Prasad Datta says that there is anger against the BJP and an undercurrent which nobody is picking up, do you think that there is even a possibility? Because remember, just 10 months before the elections, they were forced to change their chief minister in Tripura. So obviously they sensed that there is an undercurrent. But has this changing of the CM, at least in Tripura, paid off?
I mean, see, this changing of the PM seems to be a strategy that BJP has followed in many states. It's more like an anti-incumbency kind of a strategy. Even in state like Assam, which had a very popular CM at one point, and we saw that post-election there was a different phase. So this is perhaps also a kind of anti-incumbency kind of a factor they have factored in. But on the point of this anger and undercurrent, I mean, it's very interesting that we saw elsewhere also in the Northeast. Perhaps there might be some resentment, some anxiety, some kind of opposition on that sense, but somehow it fails to make an electoral impact. That CAA is a big example of that. In a state like Assam, we saw this big agitation, CAA agitation, and then right after election, BJP came back in stronger number. So there is very difficult to make that straight connection with popular resentment and the electoral performance of parties. These two remains to be different ball games, and BJP is very good at kind of disconnecting the two. So when it comes to electoral matters, it's a very different ball game altogether.
Okay, Nilanjan Das wants to respond to you. Nilanjan Das wants to respond.
No, I don't want to respond to him. I just want to ask what is the number of TMC leads that is coming up in Meghalaya? Because you are not showing it.
Okay,
TMC
Mr. Das
is clearly ahead of the BJP there and the Congress there. So
okay,
hang on. At least the breakup is not available, but if this is
hold
12,
on, Mr. Das, there is no qualified here. Okay.
Just wait. If I'm just going by some mathematics
you
and
are showing
logic.
TMC
If this is 12,
I will give you the leads and numbers. Give me 1 minute, Mr. Das. 1 minute, I will tell you this. But that being said, here is what the breakup tells us as a story. Jay.
Look, if this is 12 and all the others put together is 13, you have the UDP, the Hill State People's Development Party, TMC can't be greater than 12. So maybe the best optimistic scenario, though the breakup is still not available, the best optimistic scenario could be that it has a competition with the Congress. The best optimistic.
Okay, are you happy? Does that make you happy, Mr. Nilanjan Das? No, let's face it. We've got 59 leads so far. We've got 59 leads so far. NPP and BJP are already at about 37, which has taken them past the halfway mark. We are quibbling about the breakup of this 13.
No. It's not quibbling. You are missing the point. You have to realize that if the TMC gets a considerable number of seats, it can form a government with the Congress.
How? Wow. The Congress is at 9. The Congress
wait. Logically, you're saying. Logically, no. Wait. No. Let me talk to Mr. Nilanjan. Logically, what he's trying to say is that means there's going to be a government without the NPP, and if there is one such government, it is also going to be without the BJP, which is 12. I mean, that doesn't add up.
Absolutely, your
so
calculation
TMC is going
not,
with the BJP.
Your calculation is not adding up, sir, unless the TMC decides.
You are not understanding. You are not getting the point. I said that the numbers can, it can add up.
Okay. Hope floats. Hope springs eternal. Tehseen Poonawalla also wants to respond, but before you respond, the first win has come in, and I am being told that in Nagaland's Akuloto seat, the BJP has registered its first win. So the first, and of course, that is we've got the first win of the BJP in Nagaland, but that is the one which was uncontested. That one was uncontested. All right, so we already have that win over here. All right, Tehseen Poonawalla, you wanted to respond. Go on.
Two things. The BJP will obviously take credit for this victory. It's there today, so good luck to them. It seems like they're winning. But what's most important is, can the BJP now come up transparently and tell us two things? Why did they have to change the chief minister in Tripura if everything was so good? Do you remember they sacked him halfway through, and the chief minister to keep putting his foot in the mouth? And with Nagaland, this is a very serious situation. Can the BJP put out the agreement with the Naga insurgency groups that the Prime Minister promised times now? And every single journalist in a few days it will be put out. It's now 5 years the Prime Minister has not put out an agreement made on behalf of us, the citizens of India, to a group that he said will be put out in 5 days. How can you have secret agreements? I think these are two things that need to be asked. The BJP will obviously celebrate their so-called victory, but in a democracy, we have a right to know what is this agreement.
You are absolutely right, sir. But that only underscores my point. That underscores my point. Tehseen. One question that I have. You know, hold on a second. No, you don't know what I'm going to ask. Let me ask you this as a counter. Now you have a situation where in Meghalaya, the NPP and BJP part ways. In Nagaland, you are saying the solution hasn't been given. In Tripura, they had to change their chief ministers. If all three states have underlying problems, all the more reason that the Congress should be sweeping these states. It's not like the BJP alliance doesn't have a problem there, right, Jay?
Yeah,
it's not like you didn't have a traditional stronghold there. My point is, if despite that the BJP alliance wins, that is more a comment on your party than on them.
Yeah, so I'll come to that, but just one point. With regards to Nagaland, why I'm extremely worried, and particularly the Northeasters, because what we've seen is a very terrible trend of firing between Northeastern states that had stopped over 20 years ago. So that is one thing. With Nagaland, the other thing is the rebel groups had promised elections, and after the elections, even during the elections, they've said a separate constitution, a separate parliament, and a separate flag for Nagaland. This is something they have continued to maintain. So that is something that BJP is not clarified. I take your point on what is the weakness of the Congress in all three states, or at least in Nagaland and Tripura, Meghalaya, they still will do some amount of work. But I'll tell you, viewers, one more thing.
Okay.
During the CA protest, Mr. Sangma's closest aides, again, they were reaching out to the Congress. They promised, look, we will part ways with the BJP, the CA is terrible for Meghalaya, etc. And do you know what they did? During the voting, they went ahead and they walked out of parliament, thereby helping the BJP. So time and again, the regional parties in the Northeast only go with the union government. It's been a trend since 1950s. Everybody knows about it. It's very difficult for them to ally with the opposition.
Okay. Now we've got. Let's recoup and give our viewers a sense right now of a comparison. The last election versus this time around, and we are going to start with Tripura. All right, Jen. Let's take a look at 2018 versus 2023. First, the big numbers. BJP plus was 44.
Congress plus was
This
16.
time they are almost close to that mark already. They are at 39. Congress plus 16. Congress plus has still held up. Tripura, obviously last time they weren't there, and this time they are at 5.
They are 5.
TMC doesn't seem to have opened their account this time around as well. Now talk us through the regions and what this tells us.
Now it's very interesting. The left traditionally had a stronghold in Dhanpura and all the seats, which are seats closer to the Bangladesh border, closer to the Komala district of Bangladesh. The left somehow seems to have held to it and added a little bit of vote share with the Congress. We have to realize one thing. The Congress is the practical, latching on party in this election, doesn't have any independent winning ability demonstrated in the last election. So the left has added some marginal vote for the Congress and has managed to retain these holds. Most of the left Congress seats are still close to the Bangladesh border and close to the Komala district. That's what it has said. The tribal party, the Tripura Motha, they have taken some inroads into the inner parts of Tripura. And they have held to that. What is most interesting is in April 2021, they took control of the autonomous district councils there, and that somehow seems to have held them in good stead.
So basically the seats that they are in a lead over here are the one where they had one in the autonomous district.
Absolutely. They've held on to that, and whatever little residual vote of the Congress that was there, Mr. Burman has at least managed to consolidate that behind himself.
But this alliance, let's talk about the Tripura alliance between the CPM and the Congress for a little bit.
So it's a practical non-addition by the Congress.
So they really haven't gained much from it.
Absolutely. They haven't gained much from it. What is very interesting is that the left chose to have an alliance with the Congress. Look, after Mr. Burman left, in fact, even when Mr. Burman took over, he left after a couple of months, the Congress was already reduced to a sub 10% vote share, right? So now it's a practical, marginal addition that it's doing to the alliance.
So tell me this, Mr. Rajgopalan, welcome first of all on Results Day. Are you feeling good?
Thank you.
So my first question to you is, what did the Congress gain from this alliance with the left? You have a party which was at the receiving end of violence at the time when the left was in power. Almost 20 plus years when the CPM was in government in Tripura, Congress cadre was being beaten. Now what do? You go and ally with them. You let them contest a majority of the seats, and from the results or the trends we see so far, there hasn't really been any increase in seats. So net, what's the gain? What was the logic here? Explain that to me.
That is the reason why Prime Minister said Tripura mein dosti, Kerala mein gusti. Aapko yaad hoga what Prime Minister indicated in Tripura, 3 meetings, what he spread that story in every part of Tripura. So therefore my understanding is either CPM is eating into the votes of Congress, or Congress is eating into the votes of CPM, we do not know, but still Congress is the sufferer. Ultimately, Congress is going to be sufferer. Apart from that, Padmaja, I am going to give you a very interesting anecdote. I am from Tamil Nadu. Congress has found V. Narayanaswamy to be deputed to Meghalaya and Tripura as an observer. They have just now announced, Narayanaswamy told me. So there is a Tamil connection in Tripura also, because Tamil Nadu Congress decimated in 1967. And Tripura Congress decimated 20 years ago. Still it could not raise its head. Therefore my understanding is Congress Mukt Bharat Northeast have taken place.
Okay, Congress Mukt Bharat is what you are saying. We also have Karma Paljor, Editor-in-Chief of East Mojo, joining us. Mr. Rajgopal and Jemruk continue with us. We are also joined by Hikani Jakhalu, NDPP candidate. Your first reaction, ma'am, to the trends that we are seeing so far? Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Your first reaction to the trends that we are seeing so far?
So far, so good. So far, so good. The way we are expecting is showing.
Okay. So you are happy with the initial trends. What do you think worked in your favor so far?
Sorry, just come again. Sorry.
What do you think are the factors that worked in your favor?
What's in my favor?
Yes.
No, because we are showing 51. Others, my opposition is from the other parties. So that's all I can say for now.
All right. You think that generally it's the kind of campaign that was run that has worked in your favor. You are giving comfortable leads. Let's take a look at the other states now. Please stay on with me for a second. We're just going to take a look at the overall numbers that we have so far. Now, Meghalaya, like we said, we've got the NPP and the BJP if taken together. If this actually holds up, Jay, is exactly following to plan. The expansion model that the BJP follows. If from 2, they go up to 12, in a state like Meghalaya, with a tribal Christian population, that's a message they can take to the rest of the country as well for 2024. You call us a Hindu nationalist party, and we are winning 12 seats or even 10 seats in Meghalaya.
No, it goes with the larger messaging of the BJP that, look, we have a brand. The opposition seems to care for it, but our voters seem to care just about development. They're not worried about the brand, right? So that's the sort of message that's got reinforced with this.
Okay.
Padmaja, PM meeting Pope is also a very turning point in Meghalaya and other places, because Prime Minister chose during his Italy visit, he called on the Pope, and that he generated in South as well as his Northeast.
Okay, so when these traditional tropes are applied to the BJP, the messaging that goes on in all of these small ways, I think very frequently their opponents tend to miss. Like Mr. Rajgopalan said, you've got the Prime Minister meeting the Pope, you've got the the state president saying, listen, we've got our traditional cultural habits, and nobody is standing in the way for that.
Padmaja, much more than to that, RSS has a separate concentration on Christians. You may not know, in Kerala they have achieved much. So therefore, extending that Kerala model, if you go to the northeastern parts, RSS has done extremely well. I know 2 or 3 representatives of RSS stayed there for 6 months. So that they generated an atmosphere, added to PM Modi meeting Pope, all these things. I know Meghalaya gentleman told me from media, he said the clip of Prime Minister meeting Pope had gone viral. So therefore, he knows where to strike, where not to strike.
All right. So here we have the numbers for Meghalaya, where NPP is at 24, Congress is at 10, BJP is at 12, and others are at 13. Nagaland, more or less, was settled. 51 BJP plus. NPF is at 8, Congress is at 1. And in Tripura, we've got the BJP alliance at 39, Congress is at 8, and Tipra Motha again emerging as quite a force to reckon with. Mr. Rajgopalan, what are you being told? Could there be a coming together of Tripura Motha and BJP?
What I heard was Hemanta Biswa Sarma sitting in one place, having 4 to 5 telephones, calling Delhi, calling Meghalaya, calling Tripura, calling Nagaland. So Hemanta Biswa Sarma is going to be the focal man. We have to concentrate on him. Whatever he does, yesterday he went on record saying that 3 BJP Sarkar. So he will definitely manipulate. He is Chota Amit Shah of Northeast.
Okay. Karma Paljor, Editor-in-Chief of East Mojo, joins us. Good morning, Karma.
Good morning.
Good morning. When we take a look at these leads so far, what would be your 3 big stories coming out of these 3 states?
I think, one of the most important things would be the visible changes that have been made on the ground by the governments who are in power, especially the BJP. When you move around in the Northeast today, you can see highways. Just take the example of, say, a state like Arunachal. So much of work is being done from Guwahati to, say, a Dimapur. In the old days, it would take anywhere between 7, 8, 9 hours, and the road was so bad. Now we can fly almost in a vehicle to reach Dimapur in less than 5 hours. So these are visible changes which the BJP has shown, number one. Now, as far as Tripura is concerned, there was a little jolt when the chief minister was changed. And people thought, oh, chief minister changed, maybe the party is not strong there. But there, Dr. Manik Saha, the new chief minister who came in, brought another very important incremental change, that is bringing down violence. The moment you bring down violence in a state which is known for, a violent election process, there people saw change. If you went around in the urban areas like towns and cities and all, most of the people I spoke to said that they would like to give BJP a chance. That's why I stuck my head out. And I said, yes, BJP is going to win. Now, as far as Nagaland is concerned, there is no option. NDPP is the party that was bound to come. I spoke to the head of NPF, Surajale Lejitso, and the first question, the first answer was that we are in a very weak position. I don't think we can make any impact. So that is the kind of leadership, that is the kind of ruthlessness that has been brought about in these areas. Now, look at Meghalaya, for instance, where do you vote? So in this, I think NPP and BJP made that mark. We'll just have to see how Trinamool does really in the state. They could be a factor, but I don't think Conrad can afford to go with anybody right now other than BJP, because BJP has a trump card when it comes to, Conrad Sangma.
Okay, so we will talk about the TMC and Congress more in detail with you, Karma, in just a while. But I want to go across to Ernest Mauri, who's the state president of the BJP in Meghalaya, and also keep Hekani Jakhalu, NDPP candidate, both of them with us, because when Karma just spoke about, you know, the BJP, the kind of messaging that they have done in the recent past, the kind of work that has been done. Ernest Mauri, of course, you were much in the news all of last week when you made that comment about eating beef. I want to start by asking you, do you think that these are issues which have ceased to matter? The BJP's policies in the Hindi heartland, as it were, and in states like Meghalaya, Nagaland. Mr. Mauri. All right, we'll try and go across to him in just a second. Hekani Jakhalu, when you ally with a party like the BJP, do you sense that there is any blowback that your party faces in Nagaland? Is that even a concern?
So when you look at the screen, you see BJP written there, but actually the lead party is our party, the NDPP. And what is also interesting is we have 60 seats. There's a pre-poll alliance, 40-20. So 40 goes to NDPP and 20 is the BJP. And I think, the observation is BJP is at the center. Prime Minister Modi has every power to do whatever he wants to do. But understanding the sensitivity of the case in Nagaland, both from the political issue that has been still ongoing and also the Christian perspective, I believe in our state he's made a very conscious decision. The BJP has made a conscious decision to just take only 20 seats. If they had the power, they could have done it, just taken all 60, you know. But I think that's been very, very respectful to the whole, the sensitivity of the state.
And that